to feel like I'm lying here, swimming in memories. I fear God because everything died me. Got a gun in the back of my car. The smell of good sense is making my eyes wet. I've had enough of all your consolation. I'm trying to call in a shed tide. Take my face to the inside alone. Nothing to eat but bears in the backseat. Well, I'm that God and he had nothing to say to me.
The FIFA World Cup coming to the BBC this summer from Germany.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, that's the one. Thanks, everyone, that's a wrap.
That one. Want that? Let's have a look. I reckon that looked pretty good on my mantelpiece. There he is. Whee! Come on!
Right, let's go out and celebrate.
Celebrate what?
You making a Mexican World Cup squad?
We celebrated that yesterday.
So?
So we're still recovering?
Mr. Braithwaite,
Yeah?
the producer would like a word.
Okay.
He's done it again. Jamie Git.
Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, of course I bloody did. How many rubles do you think Abramovich paid for that, Ref?
Yeah.
All right.
So how was it?
What, 100 grand to raise the World Cup? One of the worst days of work in the world. Is that a problem, Nick?
We've had some news.
I'll get you guys if you're okay.
What was it? Giselle's been hassling you for my number again?
No, it's Real Madrid. They're not going to renew your contract.
You what? I've had a great season, Nick.
I know. I told them that.
So? Why?
Well, they said something about hangovers and parties and missed training sessions.
And how is that any different to any of the other players?
Oh, I don't know, Liam. You tell me. It's Real Madrid, not Blackpool. But this probably got nothing to do with that. It's just Real. You know what they're like. It's all about the hot new player.
Oh, yeah. The young, hot, new player. And I thought my last season was shit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
I know. Listen, I don't want you to get upset about this. You are a cert for the England squad. You know what that means? Once word goes round that you're out of contract, I'm going to have every chairman, every manager in the Premiership biting my arm off to get their hands on you. So you just sit tight. You got a week off. Relax. Go and lie on the beach. Kick back. Shag some of the most beautiful women on earth, and I'll call you in a week with some good news. Promise.
Well, I ain't gonna bloody believe this.
Oh, Charlie.
All right. I've just been offered a part in a movie.
Movie?
Yeah, you know, big silver screen, faces 100 feet tall. A movie.
That's great.
I don't know, Charlie. Honestly, it could be a big distraction. World Cup is coming, and you are gonna get the call from Sven. I know it.
Yeah, but bro, we've got a week off, and all I'm gonna be doing is sitting around with everything crossed, brainy calls. The thing I need most right now is a distraction. You all right?
Wait. They didn't.
They didn't renew your contract. No way. When did you find that?
Nick just told me. It's fine. But I fancy playing back at home anyway.
Just goes to prove me point, no? None of us are getting any younger. And this could be a new chapter in me life.
What, as a movie star?
You never know. It's just a couple of days filming. If Vinnie bloody Jones can do it.
Did you both ever think about, like, settling down? Huh?
Hey, hold up. This little movie's got to have a couple of little tasty actresses in it, right?
Dunno. Probably.
Of course there will be. I don't think you're getting away with this one without the boys. Where are we off to then? What glamorous location are they filming your Hollywood epic in then?
Here we are then, boys.
Where's the chauffeur?
Are you with the movie? They are shooting in this place we are going.
Nah, we're all footballers.
Football? You play?
Yeah, we play
What team you play for?
Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it. I have seen you all on my sister's television.
Mate, fancy, Come then, boys.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Can I help you?
Yeah, Charlie Braithwaite.
Who?
Charlie Braithwaite. I'm in the film.
Ah. Oh, okay, Mr. Braithwaite, right. You're over in trailer 76B.
My trailer.
Here we are, Mr. Braithwaite.
Yeah. Very glamorous, Mr. Braithwaite.
Mr. Braithwaite, I'm to take you to wardrobe and makeup.
All right, boys. If you need me, I'll be in wardrobe.
We'll hang in your trailer.
Right, I'm off out.
Oh, yeah? Where?
Find a local bar, meet the natives. Are coming?
Nah, I'm just gonna chill out here and wait for Charlie.
Right, huh?
What was I thinking?
Hey.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You're Charlie Braithwaite. I can't believe it. This is amazing. You know, my whole family worships you.
I feel the same way about them.
You know, my brothers, they live for football. They're always saying how they think you're one of the best in the world.
I try and do as much as I can with the little that I've got.
Sophia, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. Now we do it. Perfect. Please.
Have you met Charlie Braithwaite? Charlie's a great football player.
Hey, Charlie. ¿Qué pasa, amigo?
Hola.
So, please, baby, can we get in that last little shot before we wrap? It's tiny. Please.
Yeah, okay.
Victory, success.
You know what? My brothers would die if they knew I was here in real life talking to you.
Maybe we could meet up Later.
I'd like that.
What?
Hey, how's filming?
Yeah, great. Starts tomorrow. But, bro, I have just met the woman of my dreams.
Does she have a name?
Sofia Tardelli.
No way. Sofia Tardelli? But she's done, like, great movies.
Where's Liam? Let me guess. It's obvious, isn't it? There's got to be a bar around here somewhere. We find a bar, we find Liam. Quite like it.
You kidding me?
Ah, you know, it's different. Wow.
She's even more beautiful in real life than she is on screen.
You are not wrong.
Hi.
Sophia, what are you drinking, darling?
A beer and a shot of grappa.
Oh, get in there. Oh, by the way, this is my mate Santi.
Santiago is from Mexico. Hi.
Pleased to meet you.
Hi. So I've heard there were 3 of you here.
Yeah. Liam Adams.
Oh, he says half as good as Inzaghi.
Is that a compliment?
Well, for my little brother, that's about as good as it gets. So where is he?
He's around.
Who's this? Liam?
Well, then, your brother must be crazy about Charlie. He's half Italiano.
Really?
Yeah, half my family's there. My mum's from Napoli, my grandparents are in Livorno, and I've got cousins in Palermo.
What about your father?
I never knew him, but apparently he's from Bratislava.
Oh.
And my stepdad's a jock.
Chuck.
A jock means that he's Scottish.
Guess you can say I'm a bit of a mongrel, really.
So, okay, so why do you play for England?
Good question.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm on set at 6. So are you. Get some sleep. See you tomorrow.
My babe. Thanks, bro. You're a real mate.
If I ever look at a girl the way you looked at Sophia tonight, I'd expect you to pick me up too.
You all right?
Better than you by the looks of things.
Yeah, you can talk.
Everything okay, Charlie?
What do you reckon?
Well, you're doing a movie with a woman of your dreams. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
I ask 45 Empire, that's what I get. Charlie! What? Great success. Go, get him in the box.
Yeah, Charlie. Never saw Vinnie Jones looking like that.
Looking good, Mr. Braithwaite. Oh, come on. Tonight we're gonna laugh about it.
I seriously doubt it.
Okay, everyone to first position! Virgins, remember your hunger. Sophia, the time is 9. Little people, get big. Okay, let's do it! I want you to start pushing in, and then go back. Women, sexy time! Ready?
Frightened of crosses, take one.
Action!
The time is now upon us, my angels. Fit well with this gift that I give you.
Cut! Cut! What you do?
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Liam. You shut up!
Yeah. Yeah. Charlie, we are in the World Cup squad! Come on! Get
Yes! Yes! Idiots!
Okay.
You don't want to negotiate?
No. We'll have him back. Liam Adams is still a great player. He'd do a good job for me, as long as he behaves himself.
He's a changed man.
You're thinking you should have asked for more money, aren't you?
To be honest, yes.
I wouldn't have paid it.
Hope you don't mind, ordered us a bottle. We'll needed it after today. Thank you.
Oh, you look great, actually.
Yeah? Well, nick the outfit if you fancy. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, here, man. I'm getting back the ton.
Oh, get in.
Yeah, mate. Nick just called. Mate, I'm back in the Premiership.
Yeah, he's going to be playing for Newcastle again next season.
I told you, mate.
Cheers, mate. Relief. Right, then. Get order a few more of these, boys.
Excuse me? What time do you call this?
Sorry?
You were supposed to meet me here an hour ago for dinner.
Does that line ever work?
No, but I'm an eternal optimist. Nick Ashworth.
June.
June. I'm an agent, football agent. I'm doing the Liam Adams deal, bringing him back to Newcastle. Do you know Liam?
Used to. A couple of years ago.
Oh, well, he always did have impeccable taste. Sorry it didn't work out. Listen, about dinner,
Sweetie,
maybe I'll...
did you have a good day?
I'm sorry, I had no idea you were married.
I'm not. Her dad's not around.
Is he insane?
Kind of. He's a footballer.
It's not Liam, is it?
I've got to go. It was nice to meet you, Nick.
It's not a bad day, huh?
Yeah, apart from that twatty director.
Wir möchten nach Deutschland gehen, bitte.
Do you speak German, Sonny?
About 5 words.
Yeah, but it's easy though, isn't it? I mean, all the important words are in English.
What?
Beer.
What?
I think I've got the numbers of about 37 vampires, yeah. They're all coming over. Hey. Welcome back, fella.
Where am I?
Hospital.
Hospital?
Yeah, you remember the accident?
My head's killing me. I still got all my bits and pieces.
Yeah, you're intact. Oh, we were lucky, you know.
Nothing broken?
No, but you've got concussions, so you're going to have to stay in overnight for observation.
That's Sophia.
She's got a fractured collarbone and a black eye, but, incredibly, it doesn't make her look any less gorgeous.
Where is she?
She's upstairs in recovery. She'll be down soon enough.
My head hurts like fire. What about Sensei?
He's cracked a load of ribs. He's got a broken arm. He ain't playing football for at least 3 months.
He's out of the World Cup? Oh, Jesus. They're talking about keeping me in for another couple of days. It's just a concussion. Yeah. All right, thanks, Dad. I'll speak to you soon, mate. Ta-ra. Hey, Sensei. How you feeling?
Well, I'm not feeling much at all, actually. I think they've got me on a lot of drugs.
Listen, there's something you need to know, mate. About the World Cup.
It's okay, Charlie. The doc told me. I guess I won't be playing.
I'm so sorry, mate.
Hey. Those are the breaks. I'm not gonna deny it meant everything to me, you know. I really wanted to run out wearing that green shirt just for my dad.
I'm so gutted for you.
Thanks, man.
Charlie?
You heard about the accident? Is everything okay? How's Charlie doing?
Charlie's going to be fine, but him and I want to send our best out to Santi Munez. Get well soon, mate.
Now, how's it feel to be back?
I'm thrilled to be back home.
There's been some speculation you go to Chelsea.
Chelsea? Please, be serious. Blue's just not my club.
Thank you very much, that's enough.
Got some news.
Oh, here we go again. Tell me.
Do you remember a girl called June?
Yeah, of course I do. She was great. She was a future ex, Mrs. Adams.
What happened?
Yeah, you know me. I got offered the job in Madrid and I asked her to come live with me.
What'd she say?
I think she was tempted. But she had this great job here and, well, the lifestyle didn't suit her, did it? Are we talking about her?
Well, I saw her the other day.
Did you? How is she?
She's got a kid.
Oh, right.
I think it's yours, Liam.
What? I want to see Nick.
What? No, she's fine. She's perfectly
Nick.
happy. I'll find out where she lives.
We're all dead excited, like, you know, about you coming back to Newcastle.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, congratulations about getting picked for England.
Cheers.
We got to Germany, like, you know. Me and the lads, Walter, Foghorn, Phil. We'll be following England around. The Geordie boys on tour.
So we're going to have a blast, mate.
Well, we made Seamus, he got his tickets for the qualifiers.
All right, we're going to go further than that.
Oh, I hear. But tickets for the knockout games, man. What, they're rarer than a cat in a kennel.
How much are you?
No, wouldn't take a penny off you, buddy lad.
That was very kind of you, mate. Thank you. I'll tell you what, if we make it through, I'll get you tickets to the knockout stages. Just call my agent, right?
What, are you kidding? That's top draw, man. Cheers.
Liam.
Hello, June. I come in?
Yeah, sure. So how's life treating you?
Great. Never better. You?
Same. I bumped into Nick.
I know.
He met Bella.
I know.
I guess I owe you an explanation.
Yeah, I guess you do.
You know, my dad left when I was little. He was hardly there for us. I never saw him. Promised myself that if I ever had a child, they would have a real full-time father or none at all. I fell for you, Liam. I really did. The time we spent together was great. But you drink, you party, you don't have a care in the world. That's great for you, but not for Bella. I couldn't put her through what I went through. And you just weren't ready for any of this. Wait here. Bella, this is Liam. Liam, meet Bella. Most beautiful little girl in the world. Liam, are you all right?
I don't know. I've got to go.
Stay. It's okay.
sorry. Can I call you from...
Germany. Of course.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Jane.
Oh, lads, stop what you're doing and gather round. This is important.
Right, before we set off, there's one thing we got to get straightened out. Whatever happens on tour, stays on tour. All right?
Aye. What do you mean, like singing and all that?
No, Phil. I'm talking about sex, man. If one of us gets lucky, and in your case, miracle lucky, we all keep this shut, all right?
Right.
Where are we going, Gordon?
You're right, mate. Do you remember June?
Yeah, gorgeous little thing. I remember I had my eye on her, but you got in there first. A baby? That's serious, bruv. Did you say it?
Her name's Bella. Yeah, I saw her. She's beautiful.
And?
And I ran away.
That was nice.
No, it wasn't like that. Seeing her made me feel, I don't know, just so sad. Anyway, listen, how'd it work out with Sophia?
Yeah, great. Only problem is she's off to Hollywood to start shooting some pilot.
Shooting who?
It's when they... Oh, don't worry about it. More important question is, what are you going to do about Joan?
Mate, I have absolutely no idea.
Right, lads. Deutschland, here we come.
Deutschland? I thought we were going to Germany.
Oh, hell, man.
Four pints of best bitter. Bitter.
You're not a bunch of travelling comedians or something?
We like to think so, Pet. Aye, here we are. Oh, and give us some of them steak and kidney pies and our Pet. Oh, and some crisps. We're on the march with Svenny's army. We're on going to Germany. And we're really shaking. Oh, we win the World Cup. We're the greatest in the galaxy. Well,
What did all that for? Nervous?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You? Nervous?
Yeah, we got you on our team.
Shut up. No, seriously, you seem a bit distracted.
No, mate, I'm focused, 100%.
Because, I mean, this thing with Joan and the baby, it's pretty serious.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Said that on the phone.
Because it is. I mean, this could screw up your whole life.
Mate.
Or the opposite.
Listen, I'm not even trying to think about it. I'm putting it right out of my mind.
Yeah, good move.
What's happening with you and Sophia, then?
Sophia who? Yeah, we can't afford any distractions.
Damn right. No distractions.
Let's have a sip.
we're late. Hurry up.
Yeah, I'm coming. 1 minute.
You ready? Why'd you do it yourself, eh?
Charlie, this is me. You know that. Now's not the time.
Never is.
Put it in! Charlie, put it in! Liam, deep! Deep!
Come on, then, keep up.
Shut up, Charlie.
You're making me look bad.
Don't bring attention to it, will ya? Oh, shit.
What's with all the layers?
It's all good, Ronnie, it's all good.
I've got my eye on you. All right?
Is the temperature all warm enough for you, Mr. Adams?
Oh, yes, thank you. It's bloody perfect, my love.
This pressure isn't too much for you?
Perhaps it could be a little harder.
Hola.
Hi.
Babes.
Charlie? Are you okay?
Yeah. Apart from getting a massage from Shrek. You off to LA then?
Well, actually, I've been thinking,
About me?
well, I might stop off in Germany on the way.
Oh, bloody hell!
Charlie?
Yeah, no, I'm here, babe. That's brilliant news. I can't wait to see you. I'll sort everything out, yeah?
Are you sure it's okay?
Yeah, of course. I can't wait to see you.
Bye, darling. See you soon.
Great.
Results.
Please.
What?
Put it away, mate.
Hello?
Hey, June, it's me.
Liam, how's it going?
Yeah, great. Look, I was calling to apologise for running out the other day. I don't know what came over me. Shock, I think.
Bella can be pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. I was thinking, if you fancy coming out, you know, to watch a game, I can arrange everything.
Thanks, Liam. But I'm kind of swamped at work, and I don't think you need any distractions.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. It's just, I can't stop thinking about you and Bella.
Listen, Liam, I'm going to have to go, but you're coming back to Newcastle, so we'll speak soon, yeah?
Of course.
Liam,
Yeah?
do yourself a favour. Lay off the drink. Bye.
for her, Liam, yeah?
Who's that with Sophia?
Forget it, trust me.
What time do you call this?
That line never works, does it?
No. But I am friends with the writer. Nick. I'm Liam Adams' agent. And you are?
Not interested.
He's good. He's the hottest player in Europe. Olympiacos have already started tracking him.
Ain't you got enough donkeys in Greece, Nick?
He's a plodder. He's not a plodder, he's fast, he's strong, he's got a cracking left foot.
Yeah, he's got two of them. Muppet.
Nick, let me tell you a little story. 2 weeks into the season, Lucky Elise breaks his leg.
Oh, that's terrible.
So we had to put him out of his misery. Shot him. Had to claim the insurance.
You're kidding.
Swore I'd never buy another racehorse again. Hey, Mikey.
Fuck off, PK.
Do you know what is the best chat-up line in the world?
No.
That's a shame because I was hoping to use it on you, Miss.
Tamsin. Adams.
I'm sorry, I had no idea that Liam had a sister.
Well, you wouldn't. You're an agent.
C6. I'm getting bigger than this, mate.
Get yourselves warmed up. Go on, the two of you. Get yourselves warmed up. Come on.
I'm happy for you. Don't let go. He's well worth it.
Thank you, Santi. That means a lot.
I actually know how you feel.
Who was she?
Just, Someone in the past. They really messed it up. Go on in. Don't change your game. Go on, lad.
Hey, Santi.
Hey, man.
How's everything? How are you, mate?
Much better, thanks. Yeah.
Sorry, brother. I've got to run.
No worries. Hey. Good to see you, Liam.
Yeah, you too, mate.
You know what I lie in bed dreaming of? An injury. Not you. One of the other England strikers. Nothing serious, nothing broken. And they come off, and you come on, and save the day.
You can't say things like that, Nick. It has to be bad luck.
I'm sorry, Sandy. I'm an agent. That's just the way we think.
That's okay, no problem. Doesn't mean it, Liam. You know, he's a pretty great agent, actually.
How'd you figure that one out?
What, you didn't tell him?
No, I thought I'd let you say that. Santi is a client.
I just signed a new 2-year contract with Spurs.
Oh, sorry, mate. No, seriously, I'm really sorry. Spurs. Mate, I'm joking. It's great. That's great news. I'm joking. You're coming back to England. London, nice.
And you to Newcastle.
Yeah. What's the difference between the girls in Newcastle and London, Stanley?
About 2 pints, I think.
To new beginnings.
Yeah, new beginnings.
Right, girls. I'm taking you out for a nightcap. Don't worry, I'll have you back in bed by midnight. Not my bed, because that would be odd.
Hello.
I'm Katya. And I know who you are.
That's a very good place to start.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Adams. Liam.
Oh,
What's wrong?
sorry. I can't do this. Look, you're absolutely gorgeous, and any other time I'd be all over you like a rash. But
Is that good? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
I thought I'd be fine seeing June. I mean, it's been so long, and why shouldn't it be fine, right? And then she brings in Bella, and look, it's not like I don't like kids. I just never thought I'd have one, and I'm looking at this little girl, and to be honest, all I felt was really lonely.
What?
I was just thinking. I was just thinking that I want to do this every day.
Yeah, we can.
For the rest of our lives.
What's that smell?
Hey?
Oh,
I'm up.
who opened the beer?
I'm up.
Oh,
you?
Oh, that's disgusting, man. Is that you? Oh, matey. You minute. It was you, wasn't it? Oh, God, somebody just crawled up there and died.
First question.
Liam, congratulations on your goal against Sweden that got us through the group stages and into the knockout phase. So, how do you see the rest of the campaign going?
Yeah, we know that this is probably our last chance to be part of a World Cup squad and our last chance to raise that beautiful golden trophy we've dreamed about all our lives. But I'm telling you, I think this time we've got a real shot.
So, we should toast your goal then, bruv.
Cheers, mate. Not going to forget that one. Happy days.
So, Charlie told me you just found you have a daughter.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. I've only met her once, but she's amazing, you know?
What about her mother?
Is that a bit of a loss for words there, bruv?
A little bit, yeah.
When we have a baby, is he going to play for England or Italy?
Well, we may have a girl.
Well, easy. We've only known each other a few weeks.
Well then, this is going to shock you. Getting married.
Beautiful. Congratulations. Well, let's toast that. Bloody lunatic.
Have a great game.
Yeah, I will if they let me play.
The team needs you. I do too.
So how are you feeling?
Never been better, Ronnie.
You sure you're up for it?
I'm 100%
Sure?
Absolutely.
Liam Adams!
Oh, sorry, I've got to sort this out. Excuse me.
Go on.
Lads, let him through. Guy in the red is fine.
Braithwaite.
Oh, thanks.
Come on.
Go in there, ask for Nick Ashworth, and sort him out for you, all right?
Torn on you get.
Liam, Andrew, now.
Oh, I'm not kidding, Gordon. This is fantastic. Well done, Liam. Oh, well, lad. Oh, look, there's something. Oh, how you doing? You're right. Good. Right, lads. Bit of order.
That kid, you're on. Go on, Sam. Ready? Yes. Come on, let's do it. Get stuff straight into the right.
Oh, this is bad, lads.
He'll be fine.
You're all right, kid. You just had the wind knocked out of you.
What's the matter with him?
You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, good.
You gonna be all right?
I didn't know where he was or who he is.
Why didn't you tell him he was Pele and send him back on? Well played, Pele.
Can't be told, will it?
No, no.
Still.
Will someone please turn that flaming racket down?
Hey, Severe, it's Lee. I've got to find him, get him to call you back, yeah? All right. Anyone know where Charlie is?
No, mate.
Charlie? Charlie, you here, mate? Charlie!
Help! Help! Someone in here!
So yeah, we just got engaged. You know, I'm so happy.
Charlie's just collapsed. He's in an ambulance downstairs.
I gave you a bit of a scare, right?
You're still giving me a scare?
Please keep this mask on, Mr. Braithwaite.
I'm just a bit dehydrated.
Stop talking, fella, all right? Let them do their jobs.
It's your turn to look after me, eh? What would I do without you, bruv?
Charlie? Charlie?
What's going on?
Charlie?
Stand back, please.
What's he doing? What's going on?
A lot of you have known Charlie for many years. We only met at Easter. But I still loved him so. We all have that in common. You all know about the crash a couple of months ago. That's how he got the aneurysm that so tragically took him away from all of us. We planned our future together. And
A week ago, Charlie asked me to be his best man. And I couldn't have been more honoured. As a friend, he made me proud. He made his country proud. And I know he made you all proud. I'll miss him every day.
I'd like to say a few words about my son. Charlie phoned the other day, and I've never heard him sound so happy. For Charlie's life to end doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be like this. It isn't fair. But I would like us to celebrate the life of somebody who loved and was loved. So I don't care if we celebrate with a tear or a song. We should celebrate. Okay. To Charlie.
All the lads would just like to say, thanks for letting us come and pay our last respects,
thank you.
It ping a ball like 4 yards, right on my toes. Wouldn't break stride. Beautiful.
Yeah, you know, I could do that. It might take one. Thank you.
No, I'm all right with water. Thank you.
Straight water.
It's water now.
Good, sir.
I'm gonna go check on Sophia.
Sure.
Excuse me. Cheers.
Joe, thank you for coming.
Couldn't not be here. I knew how much he meant to you. Bella's out in the garden. Why don't you go out and see her? Go on.
Some of them got closer than others, and some wouldn't even bother. And then you came around. I didn't really know what to call you. You didn't know me at all, but I was happy to explain. I never really knew how to move you, so I tried to intrude through the little holes in your veins, and I saw you, but that's not an invitation. That's all I get. If this is communication, I disconnect. I've seen you, I know you, but I don't know how to connect. So I disconnect. You always seem to know where to find me, and I'm still here behind you in the corner of your eye. I never really learned how to love.
Hey, how you holding up?
I saw you playing with your daughter.
Yeah. She's perfect.
There's something I want you to have. You know when to open it. You know what to do with it.
I've seen you, I know you, but I don't know how to connect. So I disconnect.
Don't want you to miss your playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll see you soon, yeah?
of course. Good luck.
Cheers. Bye.
Oh, Liam, this is for you.
This is me.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
It's not a threat. If you want communication,
So the 10 men of England to kick off for the second period of extra time. And if we don't see a goal in the next 15 minutes, it's penalties yet again. Coming up in support here is Lennon. Goes down, and the referee's given it. And Frank Lampard running forward here for the free kick. And it just glances there off. Oh, good save by Ricardo. And the Portuguese defence was spread there, and he's gone down again. It was so close. And Portugal themselves have still got quite a lot to say. Viana a real threat here to England. So is Manish. And they've got Ronaldo forward as well. Oh, that was close. And Robinson, full stretch going to his right. The ball still not out of play as Viana gets it back into Manish. And still a chance for Portugal. And Postiga with the header. Oh, it's in. Oh, the flag's up. No goal. Well, it's Hargreaves who's having a really majestic half hour here for England in extra time. Steven Gerrard trying to get away here. Lennon's just behind him. Gerrard! Lampard's there, Crouch is there. It's a brilliant header by Miguel. Just over 5 minutes away from penalties in this World Cup quarter-final. He's every right to have cramp as well. He's had a word with Steve McLaren and it looks like a substitution. Is Adams going to come on, I wonder? Looks as though he's been told to warm up. And the players just using this interval for a drink. Lennon is the man going off here. And yes, Adams, who you may remember came off the bench and scored against Sweden. He's got an opportunity here to really prove his worth. This is Nuno Valente. In it goes again. Oh, glancing off the heads. Miguel comes in round the back. Manish! Well, you always get one chance, and that was it. The whistle has gone at the end of extra time. The World Cup quarter-final in which England have played with 10 men since the 62nd minute has gone to penalties. I think we should say as well, before the pandemonium of the penalties, how brilliant England have been since the 62nd minute sending off of Wayne Rooney. Collectively, this is an extraordinary performance. And Shimao is the first man to take the kick for Portugal against Paul Robinson. Oh, he's checked his run-up, and he scored! It went right in the corner, and it's the Portuguese fans who are celebrating first off here. Here comes Frank Lampard. Oh, he saved it! This is Viana. He's hit the post! Owen Hargreaves against Ricardo. Oh, he got to that, the goalkeeper, but the power took it in. This is Petit. Oh, he's missed. England can go ahead here with Steven Gerrard. Oh, Ricardo saves. Helder Postiga. Oh, you don't save those. Now it's tricky for England. Well, Liam Adams is coming forward. I'm not surprised about this because he was always going to be a potential penalty taker. And I think that's why they brought him on, to be perfectly honest. But it's a big moment for him and for England here. He's got to try to beat Ricardo to keep England's hopes alive. Goodness me, the pressure must be enormous down there as Adams steps forward here for England. Oh, Ricardo's got down and turned it onto the bar. Oh, what heartbreak for Liam Adams and England. The goalkeeper managed to get an arm on that. And in doing so, with the help of the crossbar, he has brought Liam Adams and England's hopes almost to a standstill. The fans' faces have fallen. And Portugal here have got a wonderful opportunity. Cristiano Ronaldo kisses the ball, knowing that if he scores from this penalty against Robinson, Portugal, not England, are in the semi-finals of this World Cup. The Manchester United player here, with Portugal and England's fate in his hands. It's Ronaldo, and he checked, and he scored! Portugal are celebrating. It's they who go through to the semi-finals, and England are just left to wonder what might have been.
Running slow like cold engines do on the hills of bleak morning through. Streets are ready to explode, but I won't die today. I saw a man in some trouble, yeah. Reach my hand to lend comfort there. Bit down hard and drew blood, but I won't die today. I sang the hymns that once warmed my soul. Old pianos in wood floor halls. Beauty shown was my teacher, and still today. See your face sometimes, surrounded by fire. See your face sometimes.
Yeah, very well done.
Liam,
Jane,
what's wrong?
marry me.
You're serious?
I've never been more serious about anything in my entire life.
That's not very difficult.
Listen, you and Bella, you're the most exciting thing that has ever happened to me. I've realised that there is a life beyond drink and football. This is where I want to be, right here. You never left me, Jane. You're my future. I want to change. I really do. But I need your help, though. I need your help because You make me better. We can do this. I know we can. Will you marry me, June?
You sure you want an answer right now?
Please be seated. Do you, Liam Adams, take June Murray as your lawful wedded wife?
I do.
And do you, June Murray, take Liam Adams as your lawful wedded husband?
I do.
You may exchange the rings.
Oh, here we go.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you. Well, I've never done this before, and maybe that's because nobody has ever liked me enough to make me their best man. I've seen the movies, and I know how easy it is to mess these things up. So I looked a couple of things on the internet, and basically what it said was that you need to tell stories, you need to be charming, you need to be funny, and I thought, it's not me. But I do know who that is, and that's a guy who should be standing here, not me. He had stories, he was charming, he was funny, and, well, he was taken away from us just when he had everything. And, well, we all lost him, and we...
Yeah, we all miss him. We all miss him. Well, that's the first time in this city that the best man's made a speech without making any crappy bad jokes, which I think is appropriate, and we all understand. Well, this is the first for me, because I'm an agent and we don't have friends. But, I've known Liam for a few years now, and he's really moved on. He didn't win the World Cup, but he did win the heart of the most beautiful woman in the world. And I think that's a better prize. So, Liam, you are an arse, but you are the luckiest arse on the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom, Liam and June.
Liam and June.